What up? It's your boy Flobo. What's up, Flobo's the show? How's everyone doing? I'm doing okay. I want to thank you so much for checking out this episode and all the other episodes of the show. Can't even talk. It's Monday, a little late today, but it's all good. Just want to talk to you about something that's happened to me over the weekend, and I realized an aspect of my life I hadn't shared with you. There's actually a part of my life that I hadn't shared with you. I guess if you're my friends, if I texted you, if I do text you normally, you probably know this, but most people don't. So let me take a step back. A couple days ago, I got an email from the good folks. I didn't mean that with no hint of sarcasm. The really good people over at Live Nation. They said, hey, look, during the current climate, we're basically noticing that most hourly employees really have a more advantageous look if they decided to get their unemployment. And so as an hourly employee, we are potentially releasing you from your agreement. We are essentially being furloughed. And I think to myself, wait a minute, my fans don't really know what I do, assuming I have fans. So even though I'm technically self-employed, I am on AfterBuzz TV. I do the whole DJing thing. I do the comedy thing. Of course, to fill in the gaps there, I work as a PA runner for one of Live Nation's buildings in downtown at the Blasco. And what that really means is that when a artist comes through and they want their dressing room stocked with the best sodas and booze and all kinds of snack foods, it's usually my job to either buy it or, if it's pre-shopped, to arrange it. So you know how the old adage goes with the rock star that wants the brown M&Ms in a bowl? This guy. Now, I'm not necessarily embarrassed about it. frankly, it's work, it's job, it's something you do. But it's something I really don't talk about because I work there kind of infrequently doing that. But the idea was, it was pretty cool because it was the best kind of job for someone like me, a creative. It doesn't take a lot of brain power to work as long as you're there early and you fulfill what's needed early and you set up things early and on time. You're great. And as long as you're attentive, you're fine. But the hours of you driving to pick up groceries, or sometimes you get called to pick up like musical equipment from a store, it's awesome. You can pop in a couple podcasts. You got to listen to yourself on tape to see how you can improve as a host or as a comedian, and then you come back and get your work done. So I kind of fell into it, into the position. I was at another show. I was a PA for a wrestling event, and a worker who was staff there brought me on to this venue, and the team I worked with was so amazing and so fantastic. But on game day, on show days, my day typically comes in as setting up early, realizing what the writer is. A writer is basically a list of demands an artist will have that they want fulfilled, whether it's a technical writer for their equipment or their hospitality writer for their food and beverages and stuff. And the hospitality writers are under my purview. I would get like house cash or whatever to go out to the stores and buy whatever that's needed. And a lot of times there is a consistency. Most artists want some sort of liquor or beer. There's some that are like not. You get really good at knowing which brands are at what store. If someone's like, oh, I only drink this brand of ginger beer. You can be like, oh yeah, that place downtown has it. Let me go over there. No one's really had any crazy requests yet. No one's like, oh, I really want like fluffed pillows, or I really want essential oils from this particular tree you can only get in San Diego or something like that. The only crazy story I had as a PA runner is I was at a show and a particular band wanted, which I won't mention here, they wanted like olives, which I thought olives came in a jar or a can. So I'm going to stores looking for these individual olives, and no one knew what I was talking about. They couldn't find it, and I was getting frustrated now because even though I can take my time to get to these venues, I can't spend all day. Like I can drive safely, but I can't lollygag, if that means anything. So calling back my boss, I'm like, I don't know what these individually wrapped olives are. Can the band send me a picture? And it turns out, and they sell them at Target. It turns out like those little plastic fruit cups that you can get like pear slices or little itty bitty mandarins and water, and and you can like drink it, like they do that for olives too. And this band specifically wanted the single servings where they put like 4 or 5 olives in these little plastic containers to have at the ready. I learn something new every day. I learned of all the veggie plates I bought and all the packs of hummus I bought. That was the first and practically the only time I picked up individually wrapped olives. But it's chill. So imagine if it shows at 7 o'clock. I usually come in like at 2. I see what's needed, and I go out there and I shop for it. I come back and I set that up. Then I put like the Wi-Fi codes in the wall. And then I make sure I'm at the ready for my manager if she needs me to do anything else. Like, hey, can you move like this tower of ice downstairs to the green room to our talent? So in my experience, I've had a lot of bigger bands, a lot more small bands that I haven't heard of. I'm not sure if it's because I'm not cool or because I'm old. I got the chance to work a Lauryn Hill concert. That was great. It's what they say. She does take her time to arrive to a venue. I didn't mind as an employee because, hey, it's time and a half after 12 hours. But I just can imagine that most of Lauryn Hill's fans are like now in their 30s or 40s or 50s going to a show that opens at 8 o'clock and waiting 4 hours for Lauryn Hill to show up. And it's not just that venue. I mean, she does that for years. But still, to be standing there in your Saturday night best with your lady or guy being like, yeah, nice evening out. We'll see the Lauryn Hill concert. And we'll come back home and have a nightcap. And you're sitting there waiting at 12:30, like, man, this nightcap's turned to brunch. Dang it, Lauryn Hill, why are you doing it to me for? So what happens now, man? So with them, being released or furloughed, I'm not sure how long it's going to be. Live entertainment, another job that I'm involved with, is linked to crowds and linked to having people together to have the best time in front of a particular form of entertainment. So it's hard to say if that's coming back, or will it come back, or will they hire me back, or will they sever all ties completely, depending on staff needs, because, hours tend to build up. And I don't know where I am in the seniority stack of it. I've only been working there since January officially. So, and in October unofficially, through a third-party company legally, but like through a third-party staffing agency. So I don't know what that is, but I just realized that that's something that you might find interesting. What does that look like? So as an artist, as a creative, you have a right to list down what you want for everything. When I was doing a DJ gig in Italy, I told the clients, here's what I want for my set, and artists can do that too. So if you aspire to be an artist, keep that in mind of what a writer looks like, R-I-T-E-R. You could probably search them online or what have you, which is a pretty cool way to look at reference and see what other artists need, or other artists are looking for, what's considered a requirement, what's considered nice to have. And if you're ever in that position, be nice to a hospitality writer person, because there's a very, very bit of nuance in that job that I guess what I think is common sense, people don't. Like, for example, legally and technically, if someone's like, I want a veggie plate, I just go to the store and then toss a veggie plate on the table and I go, cool. But what I do is I'll make sure the veggie plate is always chilled, or I'll bring out the cooler to make sure if it was getting warm, we could put it back in the cooler. I'll open up the different dipping sauces with my gloves, of course, to make sure they have the choice there, instead of saying, oh, it's in the fridge. Like there's an art form to it. So like now I appreciate, like, I've never been on a cruise, but if I had, I would appreciate if someone who was a porter or housekeeping or maintenance came in and like did little like towel animals, like those, that's going the extra mile. Even though it's corporate mandated, it's still the extra mile to make you feel more at home. Much like how I can give you a case of beer and say I'm done, but I do the little pyramid stack and I make sure it's cold, and everyone's like, thanks, worker, because no one knows your background and no one knows how much other things you can contribute to our society. To see you as the beer guy, But yeah, it's really cool. It's humbling in the best way, because we get really into ourselves about what we can offer the world, and I deserve this and you deserve that. But on the hours I clock in to I clock out, I am just the guy. Call me Flo, the guy from the Progressive commercials. That's why I tell people to remember my name. And here's my card. Here's my number. Text me if you want anything. I got your grapefruits, I got your ginger beer, and I have all your stage towels and napkins. So that's kind of been my experience. I hope I get to come back. I hope I can do it again some more. Yeah, I just realized that that's an actual aspect of my life that I hadn't shared before, whether it's on Wassup Flobo or on air or even on my podcast, New Amsterdam Radio. So you guys are the first to hear about that side. In the meantime, please, thank you so much for checking out this episode and all the other episodes. The website, it's flobito.com. Please support creative people like myself and other creatives during this time. If you want to support me personally, buy a t-shirt at flobito.threadless.com. And of course, we have some bonus content over at the Patreon, patreon.com/FloboBoyce. That's FLOBOBOYCE. I actually wrote a blog today about my experience on the game show 25 Words or Less. So if you want to support the homie doing that with the Patreon, please do. But until next time, I'll see you Wednesday with more What's Up, Flobo?